What's going on, guys? Black Caps here, and welcome to Transformers Fall of Cybertron 10 years later. This game is very old now. I'm surprised. It's crazy because this is one of the most top fan favorite Transformers games and shit. So anyways, we're literally going to be before I do start, I am going to say that obviously everyone, I'm going to say this for those who doesn't know. So there were 7 Transformers games that's made by Activision, or published by Activision, but made by other companies and shit. But the only ones that did have multiplayer was Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, War for Cybertron, and Fall of Cybertron, and sadly, Rise of the Darkspark. I'm gonna be honest, the multiplayer in those games were fun, except for Rise of the Darkspark. That game was. So just for the fuck of it, I'm just gonna be playing a random ass mission, just for a few minutes. I'm not gonna be doing from beginning to end. You can just watch YouTube videos and shit. I'm gonna be doing the kind of like my favorite mission, even though it's kind of a little bit short, is the Megatron Returns mission. Yeah, as I was gonna continue saying and shit. So basically, we had 3 Transformers games that's made by High Moon Studios and shit. You know, the other people that made or helped develop the other COD games and shit by Activision. And also, we can transform. I forgot about that. Can I wait? I can pet Laserbeak. What the fuck? I never knew you can pet Laserbeak as Soundwave. It's funny because like when you pet Laserbeak as Megatron, and motherfucker tries to bite you. And oh, here we go. Actually, I can do it like this. Oh wait. Ooh, I thought I was gonna fuck up for a minute. But yeah, but Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen multiplayer and Rise of the Darkspark, I guess you could say, were made by different companies. Even though Rise of the Darkspark is literally almost runs the same engine as the other Transformers games like War, Fall, and Dark of the Moon. Which, you know, it's made by a different company, not by High Moon. It basically ran the same engine almost, except that they have supply jobs. 10 out of 10 game. And oh lord, that game is so bad. I would make a rant about that video if I wanted to, but I don't want to talk about it because I will go on to the biggest rants of that fucking game if I had to. And you can call it. I still remember the day where I first played the Transformers Dark of the Moon multiplayer. Shit, when I first got Xbox Live, that's literally the first game I did. I went on Dark of the Moon, played multiplayer, and my god, I had some experience. Until, you know, I think it was before? It was either before or after. No, I think it was way before. Yeah, I think it was way before Darkspark came out and shit, where the Dark of the Moon servers were filled with Darksider modder hackers or whatever the fuck they were, or something like that. And it was cancerous shit. What the fuck? I never noticed that. Oh yeah, there's an achievement if you destroy all the monitors that show Starscream and shit and his statues, but I already got that achievement. I don't need to get that. Oh yeah, apparently there's a little mini game as well. Is it? Wait, is it closed? There was a little mini game area right there where you can wait. I have to destroy them first. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, if you destroy those monitors, you get a little mini game area where you can just basically play a crane game. But at this point, I'm not playing that right now. It's rigged from the start. And also, I don't think some people notice this, but this is a reference or an on to the G1 Transformers movie.
This is bad comedy.
Where fucking Starscream was gonna be crowned leader of the Decepticons, and then Megatron or Galvatron in the animated movies literally said the same thing. and then just killed Starscream instantly, which was pretty crazy.
Who disrupts my coronation?
Coronation, Starscream? This is bad comedy.
Oh yeah, back to basically fucking me talking about Dark of the Moon and shit, the game at least. I do remember that game and shit, like mostly I think it's more 90% of the maps or 100% of the maps, I don't remember. I think it's 90% of the multiplayer maps in the Dark of the Moon game where, oh shit, I am gonna die or something. But that there were so many glitchy spots and shit, like you can easily like get out of the map and shit if you wanted to. I remember them and shit still. And hell, I'm just gonna say this: if Activision never shut down the multiplayer servers for the Transformers games and shit, and still kind of owns the rights for the games and shit, I'm pretty sure they probably would have been backwards compatible right now. Maybe, probably not, but who knows? And then, like I said, if the servers were like still up and shit, I probably would have done a video like basically showing the glitchy spots and shit. But I'm pretty sure you guys can just look it up basically, because I'm pretty sure it's everywhere on YouTube. Still, maybe, I don't know. Because I personally never looked them up, because I never knew there were glitches back then, until like I think it was like a year or two, or I don't remember. It was like later down the line when I did find out there were glitches and shit, but people were just showing off and shit. It's like a couple of them were easy, and some of them you actually had to be lucky enough to land the glitchy spots, which is, like I said, basically out of the map. Some are required a special type of, you call it, class technically. You got some that you only need a jet, basically a jet character like Starscream or Breakaway. Pretty sure some of you might know the Mr. Dark Ironhide. I think he made an appearance in one of my videos. I think it was a Resident Evil video or some shit. But way before, his original name was Ironhide07241 or something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. And he had to make a spare account or whatever, because long story short, he, I guess, lost information or whatever the fuck. So he had to make a new account. But yeah, and then I met I don't remember who I met first and shit. I think I still remember who I really met first, but I do remember meeting Ironhide on that game. I met Mr. Michael Players on that game. And then like I basically met some of my friends on Xbox through that fucking game. Basically, Dark of the Moon is basically, like I said, the first Xbox Live game I did play, or the multiplayer at least. And that's where I met like a good chunk, not a good chunk, more like I think like 5 to 10% of my friends on that game. But even though I still talk to some of them, even though one of them, like Mr. Oddhad, for an example, I still talk to and shit and play the games and shit still. Mr. Michael Plays, I have not played with him in a while, since I think like a year or two ago. I don't really remember. It was a long ass time ago, dude. Yeah, and then I played the Revenge of the Fallen multiplayer for the first time as well. I don't think I met much people on that game. I don't really remember. I don't remember who I met or who I didn't meet on that game.
Editing Black Ops here, I also forgot to mention that there's two different video game versions of the Revenge of the Fallen game. Obviously, two made by different companies. For the one that I mentioned like earlier is the ones that they made for Xbox and PS3, and the other company made the Wii and the PS2 version, and honestly, that was kind of shit. So anyways, back to the video.
Okay, so let me explain Escalation a little bit before I continue about like the other Transformers games I played. Escalation, like, yeah, basically what the description says: survive waves of enemies with your friends, even though you could choose to play with your friends or solo. It's basically Spec Ops from Modern Warfare, basically, except with Transformers. Alright, so let me pick a random fucking, I'm gonna pick the final mission, because I actually do like that mission, and it's not that hard on one. Just skip it, just fuck it. Oh yeah, you can also sprint. I forgot to mention it. But yeah, fuck what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, back to the other Transformers games. So I'm gonna talk about War for Cybertron right now. I never really fully experienced War for Cybertron, and yeah, I know it's a shocker, even though I'm playing Fall Cybertron and shit. I never experienced the campaign. I never experienced like the other multiplayer and shit. I did, like I said, I did play the multiplayer for War for Cybertron, but technically, believe it or not, there was a demo of the multiplayer of War for Cybertron, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it was something. It was an experience. And I remember when I first played it, I was like, this place like Dark of the Moon. What the hell? Because technically, I don't think I never knew this a while ago, that War for Cybertron came out way before the Dark of the Moon game, and then Fall of Cybertron came out after Dark of the Moon. Yeah. See, like I said, I never experienced the campaign in War for Cybertron. Played. Basically, the demo is basically a small chunk of multiplayer, basically, for War. And speaking of not experiencing the full multiplayer and shit, I never had Fall of Cybertron on a 360 at all when it came out. So yeah, I basically missed out on that game. Like, everyone says, oh, this is the best Transformers game and shit, and yeah. And I mean, yeah, I get that. I understand why. But no one is playing this game, which is just fine, but at least, at least some people still play. I think it was way before the it was before they pulled the plug for the servers and shit. I ran into 2 other random people. And you know what happened? I think the game started, or it just didn't. Oh no, I think it was for escalation. I think that's why. Because I think I tried to do escalation with randoms and shit, because I felt like it. Let me explain Rise of the Darkspark. That game was a disappointment, honestly. I don't know why. It's just it's a prequel. I don't know what you would call it. A pre-sequel, like how, something like that. I don't know. Half of it is a prequel to Fall of Cybertron, and the other half is just on Earth, like after the events of Cybertron, I guess. Even though it's, I don't know. I didn't like it. The story was a mess, honestly. But Escalation, it was fine. But 90% of the maps were Cybertron, and the other, they only got like 2 like Earth maps, which I don't know. I did not like. I wish they added more. Rise of the Darkspark, 0 out of 10 IGN. It was such a mess. When we had the game and shit, obviously the only mode we could play was Escalation. What? You're just saying that Rise of the Darkspark never had multiplayer? Nope. Not even PvP multiplayer. Escalation was basically co-op multiplayer. Co-op multiplayer, and that's it. No PvP, no nothing. Yeah, Jazz has a fucking grapple gun. I always forget that Jazz had a grapple gun. I think him and Cliffjumper had a... Actually, no, Cliffjumper goes invisible. I am Cliffjumper.
My name is Cliffjumper, Lieutenant in the Autobot Resistance.
Oh my lord, every time I think of Cliffjumper, I just think of him getting sliced in half in the Bumblebee movie. And also him turning into a zombie in Transformers Prime. And also, I never knew it was voiced by none other than the guy from Fortnite himself, The Rock. I never knew it was voiced by The Rock, even when I, watched Transformers Prime. Even when I rewatched the first season, a bit of the first season and shit, I never noticed it was The Rock. I mean, there were rumors that there would be a new Transformers game and shit, but I don't know if that rumor is gonna be true, because we have not gotten a good Transformers game in a while. Technically, Transformers Devastation was the last good Transformers game, at least. The recent one that just came out, I forgot what it was called. Fucking Battlegrounds, I think it was. I did not like it. I thought it was gonna be something else, but no, it was something out of my expectations. But yeah, it was bad. But I kind of like the first 3 Transformers movies better, and in the Bumblebee prequel. I just like to pretend Age of Extinction and The Last Night never happened, and not canon. Because those, Jesus Christ, those movies were bad.
Bumblebee.
Right, I'm just gonna pick Optimus, because fucking why not? Optimus always wins. If we can have a a Transformers game where we can create our own Autobots for Decepticons. And then basically the final boss would just be Unicron somehow. Basically almost like, let's say, basically like the G1 Transformers movie. Where you can get inside Unicron and then use the matrix of leadership and then just blow him up. Because, I mean, that's basically what happened in the G1 movie, honestly. And then Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime. Oh my god. And wait, that's it, right? Yep. Yep, there we go. We beat the game. I beat the game again. Even though we did the final chapter. Kinda like it. I actually kinda like this mission. There's a lot of missions I like in this game that I find easy and shit. And just easy to speedrun. Oh shit! Hey, I think that's it I had to talk about, honestly. Other than just I played basically almost all the Transformers games, except for I think there was Transformers Prime the game, but that was for the Wii. I don't know. I saw gameplay. I'm like, good thing I didn't get it because I don't know. In my opinion, it didn't look that amazing. So.
Till all are one.
Alright, time to skip the touch, because that's copyright. That's copyright. Even though it's also a song they played in the G1 movie a lot. But I'm just gonna say that this was Transformers Fall of Cybertron 10 years later. I'm honestly surprised that this game is this old now. Yeah, Transformers 1 the game is 15, Revenge of the Fallen is 13, War for Cybertron is 12, Dark of the Moon is 11. Yeah, and then Fall of Cybertron is 10, so yeah. I'll catch everyone later. Peace and
Autobots, roll out!